Hello, and welcome back to A Real Horror Show. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at the upcoming 1/6 scale figure of John 𝙁𝙁 from the ever so relevant John Carpenter movie, They Live, that has just gone up for pre-order on the Mondo website. This guy was first announced and displayed at the 2023 Texas Frightmare Weekend Convention, and is the latest addition to Mondo's 1/6 scale horror line, which also includes this extremely detailed figure of Megan, who looks absolutely fantastic, and is scheduled to start shipping sometime next month in October, just in time for Halloween. And of course, this recently released and much anticipated figure of R.J. MacReady from another John Carpenter classic, The Thing. And as you guys will know, I recently made an unboxing and review video of this guy, and it's safe to say that he definitely lived up to the hype and makes for such an incredible display piece, especially coupled with the dog thing and Norris spider head that were included in the exclusive timed edition release. But if you haven't checked out that video yet, head over to the channel and give it a watch. But much like the figure of MacReady, horror fans and collectors have been waiting with much anticipation for Mondo to give us the full reveal of the John 𝙁𝙁 figure, with photos of the final product and all his included accessories, as well as announce the pre-order. And as of the time I'm recording this video, the John 𝙁𝙁 figure is now up and available for pre-order on the Mondo site. So let's take a closer look. So first things first, from looking at this overview photo of the John 𝙁𝙁 figure and everything he comes with, I've got to say that Mondo have already exceeded my expectations with this guy. As you guys can see, this figure is coming packed with an absolute boatload of accessories. So as the description aptly states, 𝙁𝙁 is armed and ready to kick some alien ass. Something that I really loved about Mondo's MacReady figure is the sheer amount of content the figure came with, which resulted in a truly epic release. And it looks like this 𝙁𝙁 figure also has no shortage in the accessories department. As included with this collectible, 𝙁𝙁 comes with a basic black display base, which was also included with the MacReady figure. And although it's nice that Mondo includes these with their figures, as a lot of 1/6 scale figures don't come with any kind of display base whatsoever, it would be nice if the bases had some kind of printing on them, whether that be the movie title or logo, or even the character names. But anyway, it's still a nice and extremely useful inclusion. 𝙁𝙁 also comes with a police utility belt with an attached gun holster that will fit the silver and black Smith & Wesson revolvers that he comes armed with. And these guns look pretty decent overall, but have a really basic paint job. I do like the detailed texture on the grip however, which was also apparent on the revolver that MacReady came with. We can also see that 𝙁𝙁 will be coming with a walkie-talkie that can fit into a pouch, which also attaches to the utility belt, and a police baton, which I'm sure will be the most unpopular way of displaying this figure, but it's really nice that this was included in the release regardless. But of course, it wouldn't be a They Live figure without the trusty sunglasses that allow humans to see the world for what it really is, and the reality of the ongoing alien invasion. And like I said at the start of this video, They Live isn't just an awesome action-packed cult classic, but it's also a movie that has deeper themes that are still massively relevant today. It really shows off John Carpenter's genius as a filmmaker, and a lot of the movie's iconic symbolism is due to these sunglasses. Anyway, Mondo's 𝙁𝙁 figure comes with not one, but 3 sets of sunglasses, with one of them being exclusive to this timed edition, and we'll get to that in just a minute. The first pair of sunglasses are a complete set that 𝙁𝙁 can hold in his hands, and the other 2 are wearable pairs that have slightly shorter arms, allowing them to fit onto the John 𝙁𝙁 head sculpt, which is definitely how I would personally display this figure, along with the included single barrel shotgun accessory, which matches its on-screen appearance very accurately, with a decent looking paint job and added weathering details. Of course, these accessories would be used to recreate the ridiculously iconic scene from the film where 𝙁𝙁 enters a bank ready to blast away some alien imposters, but not before saying one of the most famous lines in movie history.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
And that brings me to my favourite accessory included with this entire release, a pack of bubblegum. Now that is a 10 out of 10 accessory. Bravo, Mondo. So as I mentioned, this figure is a timed release and is up for sale between the 3rd of September and the 11th of September. So if you guys want to put in your order for this 𝙁𝙁 figure, you only have a few more days to do so. And just like the MacReady figure, this timed edition of John 𝙁𝙁 comes with a couple of exclusive extras, including the aforementioned pair of sunglasses with the the alien imposter inside the lens, which replicates the movie's iconic poster image. I really like the idea of using the extra hands that are mainly for holding the various weapons to display 𝙁𝙁 adjusting the sunglasses on his head, and once again this also replicates the movie poster. Speaking of the hands, 𝙁𝙁 comes with a total of 3 sets, 2 pairs for holding accessories and 1 pair of hands clenched into fists, just like we saw with MacReady. This pair of hands is much more fitting with this figure however, as we all know how much Hot Rod likes to use his fisticuffs, especially when having an epic 5-minute street fight with Keith David. And the other exclusive bonus accessory with this timed release is this alternate what if head sculpt, depicting John 𝙁𝙁 if he himself was an alien imposter. Of course this never happened in the movie, and is a totally made up accessory from Mondo, but I actually think this is really cool. I'm sure that some people won't be a fan of this since it isn't accurate to the movie, but at the end of the day it's still something extra that comes with this figure, and I actually think it's a really cool alternative way of displaying John 𝙁𝙁. The head sculpt itself looks fantastic, and it's a great excuse for Mondo to throw in a head sculpt featuring that unique alien design from the movie. Although I do think a more rugged and bloodied 𝙁𝙁 head sculpt based on the fight scene with Keith David would have also been a great option for an alternate head. And since we're on the subject of head sculpts, we might as well take a closer look at the primary head sculpt itself. And I've got to say this head sculpt does carry a fantastic likeness to that of the late great Rowdy Roddy Piper. Although the expression on the face is rather neutral, they've definitely managed to capture the character very well here, and they've done a lot of great little detailing work within the sculpt, especially within the texture of the skin. But I've got to be honest and say that I'm worried all these little details in the sculpt will be lost, depending on the quality of the paint applications when the final products leave the factory. Hopefully, the actual production pieces won't have a lower quality of paint application to that seen in these product images, but that's always something to consider with collectibles. And in the case of this figure, I actually prefer the look of the paint apps on the figure when it was first unveiled over a year ago, as you can really see all the great details within the sculpt. Other than that, 𝙁𝙁's mullet is also well sculpted, but overall I'm not the biggest fan of the paint application. Like I said, I think it looks a lot better on the prototype, as is the case most of the time when it comes to collectibles, but there is something about this figure that I'm not 100% convinced by. But don't get me wrong, I still think this is a very good looking collectible, and as I said, the likeness to Hot Rod is 1000% there. Other than the head sculpts, I guess the last thing to really take a look at here is the tailoring of the figure, which features both cloth and imitation leather elements. And overall, the tailoring on this figure looks really good. I think the plaid shirt is tailored to and fits the body extremely well, complementing that wrestling physique of Roddy Piper. 𝙁𝙁 also sports a brown leather belt that features a detail pattern, which is a great bit of detailing that is also apparent on screen. It's hard to tell, however, how accurate this pattern is exactly to the one seen in the film, but it looks great nonetheless. John 𝙁𝙁 is also wearing a pair of brown work boots that are extremely accurate to their on-screen counterparts. There's also some nice dirt and weathered painting visible on the soles of the boots, but I will say I wish there was a bit more weathering or paint details on the main part of the boots themselves, as the paint here looks a little flat to me, being that one block shade of brown. And finally, we have the denim jeans, which, although they are very well tailored and feature some fantastic stitching work, they are the aspect of the figure that is most striking to me, as I think they are way too light blue in colour. I know this may be a bit of a nitpick, but it's something that I did notice right away, and this could definitely be because of the lighting, but the jeans here appear almost light grey in colour rather than blue. But with all that said, the tailoring on this figure is fantastic overall. However, it is time to address what is, without a doubt, the worst aspect of this release from Mondo, as this John 𝙁𝙁 figure has one massive issue. Earlier today, I put my order in on the Mondo website and I got nada. And by nada, I mean nada. Nothing. As for one reason or another, this collectible is only available in the USA and Canada. What the f***? Despite this being a very disappointing revelation for collectors worldwide, including myself over here in jolly old England, it's also very confusing, as the recently released MacReady figure shipped worldwide. Now, according to Mondo, this has something to do with some kind of licensing issue. However, both The Thing and they live are properties of Universal. So I don't really know what's going on. And I don't know why this figure of John 𝙁𝙁 is only available in the US and in Canada, but what I do know is that it sucks. So unfortunately, this guy won't be making his way to my horror collection. Another thing that is also very confusing is the fact that it's only the timed edition of the figure that is currently up for pre-order on the Mondo website. So this means one of two things. Either a regular edition of John 𝙁𝙁 without the alternate head sculpts and glasses will become available down the line, or we're not getting a standard release at all. And the only way of picking up this guy is from this timed release within this extremely small window. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens. Overall, this figure of John 𝙁𝙁 looks fantastic in both its sculpt and its tailoring, and it's great to see Roddy Piper get a 1/6 scale figure release with a boatload of awesome accessories. I'm also extremely excited to see what the box art will be like for this guy, as the packaging for the MacReady figure was absolutely exceptional. Mondo is doing a brilliant job with these figure releases, and I'm always excited to see what the company is going to announce next. Hopefully we're going to get more figures based on John Carpenter characters, especially Snake Plissken from Escape from New York and Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China, as I missed out on the Sideshow releases that came out a good few years back. Just keep in mind that if you want to pick up this figure for your collection, the sale of the timed edition ends in just a few days on September 11th, and we still don't yet know if he's even getting that wider standard release like MacReady did. 𝙁𝙁 is retailing for $250 and is estimated to start shipping in January 2025. So that concludes today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this upcoming Mondo release, and if you're going to add John 𝙁𝙁 to your own horror collection. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and slash that subscribe button, and until next time guys, take care.